Contract Manufacturing Solution, Plan to Produce Flow. Our learning objective is as follows. After completing this topic, you should be able to explain the differences between the back-to-back and the plan to produce contract manufacturing flows. This table discusses the differences between plan to produce and the back-to-back contract manufacturing based on the parameters which are listed in the first column. For a parameter named source of request to create supply, the appropriate value in plan to produce would be planning, whereas in back-to-back would be set to order management. For the source of demand parameter, the plan to produce value is planned order, in back-to-back it's sales order. For the parameter named reservation of supply, there is no equivalent value for plan to produce, but in back-to-back it would be reserved against sales order. The parameter named documents that are kept in sync, the plan to produce value is work order and purchase order, whereas in back-to-back it's work order, purchase order, and sales order. The source of change in demand parameter would either have a value for plan to produce, which would be planning request a change on work order quantity or date, and the counterpart in back-to-back would be sales order date or quantity are changed. Then for the parameter named source of changes in supply, the plan to produce value is contract manufacturer enters a change order on the PO. For back-to-back, the contract manufacturer enters a change order on the PO. Notice the values here are the same for both plan to produce and back-to-back. Then finally, responsive change management system when a change can't be made parameter. In plan to produce, there is not a value, whereas in back-to-back, you raise exceptions on the sales order. In this brief topic, we should have learned the following: how to identify differences between the back-to-back and plan to produce contract manufacturing flows through the source of parameter setups. Contract Manufacturing Solution, Change Management. Our objectives for this lesson are as follows. After completing the topics, you should be able to describe the overall change management process in the contract manufacturing solution, explain how customer order changes are managed in the contract manufacturing solution, and explain how changes from contract manufacturer are handled in the contract manufacturing solution. The change management process contains the following capabilities and benefits. It is completely automated within contract manufacturing solution flows. It promptly responds to any demand or supply changes and tries to maintain the demand and supply balance. It notifies exceptions and enables users to take appropriate actions to mitigate the exceptions. And it enables OEMs to efficiently handle customer requirements and act in a timely manner on any exceptions originating from the contract manufacturer. This screenshot depicts demand-side changes in contract manufacturing. Supply chain orchestration provides automatic change management in the contract manufacturing solution that helps maintain the demand and supply balance. It enables handling of changes originating from the demand side, be it from the customer or a planned order. It provides the ability to respond to any quantity or date changes and demand cancellations. It relays changes to the contract manufacturer. It also synchronizes the contract manufacturing work order and purchase orders, and notifies the order manager of any exceptions when a demand change cannot be met. The slide also displays how a demand-side change is handled by supply chain orchestration and how the changes are relayed to the contract manufacturing purchase order. This screenshot now depicts supply-side changes in contract manufacturing. Automatic change management also enables the handling of exceptions originating from the contract manufacturer. It enables reaction for quantity or date changes or supply cancellations. It also relays exceptions so that the corrective action can be initiated, and it synchronizes the contract manufacturing work order and purchase order. The slide shows an exception message, which is highlighted in the red box, from contract manufacturer in supply chain orchestration workbench. The exception is also relayed to the order manager in case of back-to-back contract manufacturing flows. Here are the two included practices to illustrate the concepts covered in this lesson. In the first practice, you'll execute a demand-side change flow for a back-to-back contract manufacturing flow. In the second practice, you'll execute a supply-side change for a back-to-back contract manufacturing flow. Let's quickly summarize our topics before continuing into these activities. In this lesson, we should have learned the following: how to describe overall